Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be in the world. I'm Sarah Jane. This is Gift of Healing TV, and I am delighted to be joined by Dr. Alexandra Kleeberg again. Alexandra was with us
Hi,
in
Sarah.
2016. Alexandra, welcome. It's lovely to have you back with us.
Lovely to see you, Sarah.
Let me introduce you first and foremost to Alexandra. And then we will see what joys she's sharing with us this evening, or this evening as it is here in the UK.
Yes.
For almost 4 decades, Alexandra has collected self-healing images and exercises worldwide. She is a licensed psychotherapist, speaker, trainer, and author of 7 books, including Healing Every Day, 9 Steps into the Wealth of Health, You Are Extraordinary, and the bestseller, The Prosperity Factor, with Dr. Joe Vitale. On her YouTube channel, you will find 50 plus videos. Alexandra loves to learn, dream, study, write, and float through time, myths, and space to connect with people and to connect to people. Her vision is that everybody should have access to the knowledge of self-healing. She is the co-founder of 2 transformational enterprises, Network Self-Healing, which collects self-healing stories worldwide, publishes them online, and teaches the wisdom of self-healing. eVision Publishing offers spiritual books, online trainings, and events on healing and self-healing, potential and social development. Alexandra, welcome to the program, and thank you for joining us again.
Yes, thank you that I'm here. Thank you, Sarah.
It's a real pleasure. Can you, for those who didn't obviously see the program last time, which is on our catch-up pages under the interviews, so please do go and find that if you wish to. It's right there for you to watch. Share a little of your story, of how, of your life, sort of what works for you, and in respect of what we're sharing here tonight.
Okay, you already told that I'm a psychotherapist. I'm a Jungian psychoanalyst, and I'm doing this work for more than 30, almost 40 years. And I've been always searching for self-healing images, exercises, and stories. It's sort of my hobby. Some people collect stamps or coins, and I collect self-healing stories. I collect them all around the globe and throughout time, and I'm teaching them to groups. I have groups almost every day. I work for the German health system, and I'm not the usual therapist that deals with problems, with traumas. I rather deal with vision and healing. And sometimes the traumas and the problems come in the way to heal or in the way to feel fulfilled, but it's not where I look all the time. So I put in self-healing stories, images, and exercises into my groups, and they sort of changed them. They invented new methods, new healing images, and now I have a really, really broad, wide treasure chest of self-healing stories and images, maybe 2,000 or something like that. And it really fulfills me. And as a therapist, it really feels inspirited and enlightened to work with healing images and with visions rather than on traumas and problems, because this really made me burn out about 10, 15 years ago. So I really changed onto this new way. And I also interview people who heal themselves from all sorts of sicknesses. And when I mean heal, I mean they switch their mindset. I think healing is a mindset, and health is our natural state of mind. And my belief, my experience is that you can learn how to switch that and to come back into healing and health. And that's what I teach.
Brilliant. And it's lovely to have you here. And this evening, obviously, we're sharing about your self-healing 9 steps into the wealth of health. And I'd like to say hello to Arnold and Sally, who are both with us. Now, Sally has actually asked a question. So would you like that now, or would you like to come back to it?
Maybe you can just ask it.
Okay. Sally says, hi, what positive affirmations can you say for self-healing a disease?
Just for any disease, or?
It's just a general, she just said a disease, so I don't know what it is.
I have to go more into detail with that. I teach a method which I created or which came through me. It's not really new, but maybe the structure is new. And I call it Chemi. It means self-healing by embodimental imagination. So if we hear affirmation, it's usually only something for the frontal cortex. It's for our intellect, yes, to say I'm strong, I'm good, this will be a good day, and so forth. And there have been books around maybe 10, 15 years ago in the German-speaking sector, the negativity of positive thinking, because it's just in this frontal cortex and it's not integrated in the body. So if you use affirmations, they really should be integrated. They should be embodied, because the body is stronger than the frontal mind. It's about 95%, 98% of our being is unconscious, and a lot of that comes from the body. And just the affirmations is just the 2, 3, 5% of consciousness. So if you work with affirmations, please embody them, and then bring it into your daily practice. I think affirmations are good, but sometimes they are not enough. And sometimes if you feel really, really angry and you say, oh, I'm peaceful, everything is right, then they might even be destructive. I just wrote a blog about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, the negativity of positive thinking. And you really have to consider that, because I have a lot of people that come from yoga, from wellness, who think very positive, and they are very sick. So it should be really integrated on a deeper and on a bodily level.
She's actually said it's Parkinson's.
Pardon?
It's Parkinson's.
The disease.
Yeah.
There are some books on the market from people who healed Parkinson in the German-speaking countries, but I checked it up even in the English-speaking country, and it's a combination of food, of movement, and of mental set. So it's probably more authentic if you look there in the stories how people heal this disease, and it's possible. There are stories in the internet about that, but I haven't interviewed somebody like that until now.
So that's a new one for you.
I've talked with a lady, she might be in one of my courses, who has Parkinson. I think till now she did a very, very good job with this so-called disease. And I like the English word disease because there is the ease in it. Yes, it's ease, but it's not ease. So you should make an ease out of a disease. So that's the clue. And I think she started doing very well mentally. Find out what are the healing images she can implant. And it might not be one imagination. It might be a lot of images and affirmations and embodiments on very, very many layers. So I think it needs more than just an affirmation, usually. Yeah. So what is most important is that this is authentic. What we know about healing, that it comes from the word whole. You have that. Healing, holy, whole is the same root. So it means to come back into your wholeness. And you really have to catch up to those parts which you don't like and integrate them again and see what positive view they might bring into your life, or how they might change your life. So if you have a disease like Parkinson, I think you have to work on very many layers.
Yeah.
And over a long time. It might take a year, it might take 2 years. Healing is a way. There is sometimes my first step in this 9-step into the Wealth of Health program. I started with a step which is called decision. And a lot of people say, oh, and the disease is fate, or it's genetic, or whatever. They don't think it's a decision. But I do think it is an unconscious program. And you can sometimes cure yourself with a decision within a minute. I had a client with a migraine over 30 years. And it was a neurological proved migraine. There are a lot of symptoms that are called migraine, but they're just headaches or something else. She had a neurologically proved migraine over 30 years. And in Germany, it was very hot this summer, and all the people complained about the weather. Oh, it's so terrible. It's so hot. It's so hot. And I felt hot. I was sweating, and they felt hot. And at some point, I said, I don't want this anymore. I decided I feel very, very well in this hot summer. And I made the decisions, and all these symptoms of exhaustion, of sweating, they disappeared. And I said that in my groups. And she said, oh, can I do this with a migraine? And I said, of course you can do that. Just try it. And she's decided not to have the migraine anymore. And she had it for 30 years. And not to have it when the weather is such and such. She decided it. That was in June 2017. And since then, it's almost a year, she never had a migraine again. So I think the first thing, even with Parkinson, is to make a decision. This is not my disease. This is a program I've learned, an unconscious program, but this is not me. I have a person interviewed with a heart attack, and he was supposed to have medication throughout the rest of his life. And he was in the medical care in the hospital, and he said, this is not my disease. It's not my disease. I don't know how it happened. It's not me. And he decided to cure the symptoms and the scars in the heart. And he did it within 2 months, I think. So it's really, if you have a sickness or a disease, it's very important to decide. It just concentrates your power and makes an arrow into healing. So this might be an important step if you have such a disease as Parkinson, to say, this is not mine. The doctors might say what they want, and the symptoms may say what they want. It's not mine. I have another life.
Yeah.
The second step is consciousness. I think what we call disease is an unconscious programming, which we learned from being a little egg in the womb of the mother, and then over childhood, youth, and so forth. It's an unconscious programming into a healthy body. And often this unconscious programming is self-damaging, is self-destructive. And if you don't know that, you just don't know it. You think it's you. So you really have to get conscious about those damaging self-beliefs. And I think every sickness or every disease has them, and we don't know them because we are melted into them. So this is a very, very important step. Which programs are guiding your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, your behavior, your personality? Which inner pictures guide them? I think the body is like a kaleidoscope of cells, and with every inner image, with every mindset, you change this kaleidoscope of the body. And so you might have black patterns or red or crazy patterns, and one is health and one is sickness, so to say. So this is very important. And then it's the third step is to break free of that, to really break free out of these unconscious programs. they are not valuable in this modern time. They might have been, my parents were in the war, and some of these unconscious programs might be very, very good to be when you are in wartime, which means not to speak up, to withdraw, to keep quiet, and so forth. So they taught me those programs, but they are not good in this time where we are free to say and to open up, and where we want to heal. So freedom is very important, to be free, to break free out of this cage of norms, of civilization, out of the ties that bind us and keep us from our authenticity.
Absolutely. And I think it's where you put your energy, what you concentrate on, what you're constantly thinking about, talking about, saying. It's that law of attraction. It's what you're concentrating on is what it keeps happening. And when you can let go of that, that's, so to me, this is what you're saying. Let go of that. Get rid of it.
Yes, but you have to be aware of it. A lot of people are not aware that they are in a cage of civilization. Yes. It's a golden cage in our Western world, yes, and they don't see it. They look through the bars, yes, they don't see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is going back to that, you know, with what Sally's saying. There's so much, it's about what's going on in your head and that where you're putting your energies, but it is also thinking about what do I need to feed my body.
Yes, you mean just on a material level
as well. Yeah. So it's the emotional, it's the and then the physical level. It's working on both aspects together that can really support us. But it's knowing what. Yeah, it's finding the information to start with, so you know where you're starting. So sort of it's great. So if you started down, because you've started through the steps. So do you want to continue with those steps?
Yes. So those are the 3 steps. And what you say about the law of attraction. There was an old healing tradition in Greek with the god Asclepius. They had temples for 1,000 years, and over the gates stood "Know Thyself." And if I translate it into modern English, it would be health and holy is who has always healthy and holy inner images or inner thinking. So they knew that about 2,000 years ago. Yeah. And they had a lot of healings in these temples, and what was very, very important for healing in these temples, that's my step 4, is flow. They had music, they had dancing, they had stories, they had theater, they had exercises, they had everything what's fun and what's creative. So they passed through rituals for days and weeks where they came out of this cage of problem thinking into a world of creativity, of beauty, of contact, of fun, of joy. And the last part of the healing was in a trance where the god Asclepius came and made probably some sort of affirmation, but it had a preparation through these creative rituals, and then the trance, and then there might have come an affirmation, we don't know. So it's very important to come back into flow. We know from the body that it doesn't heal when you're fearful. And it has no time. It has the energy is in attacking an enemy or running away. Healing of the cells of the body can only take place when you're in inner peace, or when you're in flow, which means when you're active plus being in inner peace. So come back into flow, come back into this dreaming of childhood is very important, to play again, to laugh, to be creative. And then the next step, the 5th step, that's my favorite one, is vision. There's a noise in here.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, there was a motorbike going past the house.
Okay. Okay, it sounded like a cow in my earphone.
No. Sorry about that.
No problem. No problem. It just sounded weird. So I think for healing, vision is very, very, very important. That you have an image of you being healthy, being healed, and what you do when you're healed and healthy. So what's your life be like when you feel fulfilled, when you feel full of joy, everything is flexible, you're healthy through and through? What is your vision? And for my German clients, this is sometimes not easy. They say, oh, vision is just for gurus or for very famous people. That's not for us normal people. And you really have to teach it to them that they start wishing again. They look for their talents, their potential, and so forth, and their preferences, and they make out a vision out of that. That has never been something which has been taught to so-called normal people until maybe 10, 20 years ago. So I think this is very important that you show your body like a navigator where it should go to, in which direction. So create your vision of a healthy, happy, fulfilled life. And that's very important. In Germany, we have a lot of people that are retired, and the only vision they have is a retirement home. And that's not a healthy place in Germany, not. It's not a healing place. So a lot of people that are 60, 65, they have the statistics that they live another 30 years, which is, I think, a lot of time. And you really need a great vision for that. So you're happy and healthy and fulfilled till your last day on earth. That's what I'm up to. So vision is very important. It's my favorite one. And then there are 2 steps how to materialize them into your body and into your daily life. A vision is a construct at the first time, and it's important to materialize it, to write it down, to speak it, to embody it, to bring it into your daily practice. So you live with it, you breathe with it, you act with it, you behave with it. So it has a chance to become real and a chance to get the surrounding that you need for the vision. So this is 2 steps, I would say then, and another how you learn, because there are some people, they heal themselves, and after 4 weeks they come, oh, I'm sick again, it didn't work. And I said, well, at first we applaud for the 4 weeks where it worked, right? And then we look what happened, that the body or the mind went back to the old programs. And so it's learning on the way, and it's sometimes like in a dance, it's 2-3 steps forwards, and then it's maybe 2-3 steps backwards, and then 4 steps forward, and so healing becomes a dance. And the last steps is gratitude and bliss. We know from research that thankfulness is very, very good for healing. They have done lots of researches about that, and you might even start with that as a first step. I put it in the bag. It's an exercise, I think, for me, rather for the evening, but you might do it in the morning as well. So this would be the 9th step. And so this is a 9-step program with very many exercises, with explanations, with healing stories, and I hope that it is written in a way and produced in a way so you can learn it on your own to go step by step into healing. So that's a big part of what I did in the last 18 months.
So that's what's been keeping you busy since we saw you last.
Yes, it's a lot to do.
But then that's justice, isn't it? It is about thinking about yourself. And they say if you want to do something, first of all, put it into thought, then put it into words. And once you've spoken it, it gives it an even greater energy. And usually when you've said something, actually, because you've started saying something to people, you will start that action. So something as a thought, so as the affirmation, has got some power.
Of course, if it's authentic.
Yes, you verbalize that.
Yes.
And let others hear it. That gives it even more energy. Mm-hmm. But then because you've said it to other people, you start acting on it.
Yes,
and then, yeah, carry on.
It is when I work with affirmations in my groups, and I do that. It's a mirror exercise. I think probably everybody knows for the morning exercise. I think you have to see the affirmation. So it comes through your eyes. You have to hear it. So you have to say it out loud. You have to touch it. You have to embody it. I tell my people to jubilate or to jump or to dance with it. So it goes into the body system and reprograms it. So I think it's not just talking, but you need all your senses. So the old program gets out of your body and the new program gets into your body.
Absolutely. I know from my own experience of working with affirmations that it's been years of saying the same thing on a daily basis and suddenly thinking, actually, now I believe it.
Yes.
But if you're literally only doing it on a daily basis and it's just, that thought that I always verbalize the affirmations, mm-hmm. It takes a very long time. It's when you put extra energy into it that you can actually speed the process up.
Yes, yes, and you tell it to people or you work with it, then it's speeding it up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know you've one of your actual sections was vision, but what is your vision for this?
I already talked about this in this interview about 1.5 years ago, but it's becoming clearer and brighter. My vision is a world where everybody knows how to self-heal. And when I do speeches, and today I did it with our team, to imagine what a world would be like where everybody knows how to self-heal. And the first thing they said, oh, no doctors, no pharmacies, no psychotherapists, no healers. Yes, there's a lot of employment that will break down. And then the second is that they say there's more self-esteem, there is more joy, there is less crime, there is more fun and more relaxation and so forth. So my vision is to bring the knowledge I have, and it's about 40 years of intense research and practice every day, into the world to kindergartens. That's why I wrote children's books. So I'm still writing them. I'm now in a program with the kindergarten. We write it together with the children. That children remember how to self-heal. For them, it's very, very easy. It's all with imagination and they heal very easily. I would like to bring it in schools. I would like to bring it in families, into business. I have two people who I will be training who might bring this into business. And I think another area for that is retirement homes, because that suffering what we see there is not necessary at all, I think, with the people. And there are a lot, even in Britain, there was a research, I think 2012 or something, where they had these 80, 90-year-old celebrities, and they put them in a house which was furnished in the year where they were young, and they just lived there for a week. And they had the imagination of being young again. It was, I think, 8 or 10 celebrities in Great Britain. And they came with crutches or with a, how do you call it, rollator, or how do you call it?
Yeah, walkers.
Yeah, exactly. And they came with that, and after 1 week, they went out without it. And they felt they had better eyesight, they had better ears, they had better blood pressure, and so forth. So I think there's also very, very many things we can do that. So that's the areas where I'm interested to bring my knowledge to. And what I plan is that I would like to start this year or at the beginning of next year 2 certification courses in a 1-year training, so more people can learn to teach people how to self-heal. So I want to certify trainers and then the trainer of trainers, so it could be taught in schools, it could be taught in retirement homes, in social work or whatever. So I really want to spread this around the earth. So this is my vision for the next 10 years, maybe 20 years.
And from the sounds,
so I have a lot to do.
It's how you want to realize your goal is by doing all this training of others, and it's wonderful. We have got a comment from Arnold, who's just said, very true. If you manifest something, you get it into universe. By embodying it, you get it into your body. Great.
Yes.
And that's just it. Thinking about the people who've retired and go into nursing homes, you know, I see different things on sort of Facebook at times where people take in young animals, orphaned animals, or sort of dogs that need, and cats. But even with prisoners, you know, so it started getting them to look after sort of dogs that need new homes, etc. And it makes a huge difference. Getting young people to go and spend time. You know, with people who have got things sort of like Alzheimer's and things, playing the music of their generation, it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, yes. And you can measure that in the body. You really can measure it.
Absolutely. And so I think it's really a matter of, it's all out there. It's just people coordinating it and actually making it happen. Yes.
Yes, that's another thing I did. I wrote you that we founded a nonprofit organization. It's called Heal Now. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's a nonprofit organization where we want to put our energy into those projects, maybe retirement homes, kindergartens, and to network with that. So this wisdom of self-healing, which everybody has and which is around the world in every culture, so it comes to the people who need it. So it's a sort of like process where we put a lot of information out, so people can learn how to heal themselves, to develop their potential, and to be the change we want to see in this world. So that's another thing I did, is this nonprofit organization.
And it's brilliant that so many people do things like that. And sort of, I hope that what folks will do is they will, and we'll put this information under the video as well, the website for Heal Now. And actually, if I find these on my piece of paper here, I'll give you the other two, which is the healyourself.org. And whoops, why didn't that do that? And the eVision Publishing. Let's hope that works.
No, I can post here.
Yeah, there we go. And then I will make sure they are under the video as well, once it's up on YouTube. Arnold just said, but when I talk with friends about self-healing, they say it is interesting, but when you really want to get into it, they don't believe it. Maybe a finger cut or a cold. And do you know what? I get that, because people are still looking to go to the doctor for a pill.
Yes. My first doctor I had when I was 14, 15. I'm coming from a country home and there was no doctor around, fortunately. And now young mothers, they go with their children, I don't know, 2 times, 3 times, 10 times a year. So it's really stylish, I think, that when they have something, they think, they might go to a doctor. And we have all the wisdom we need. We have it in the body. The body has the information of millions of years. I've said that in the last video. From the first cells in this ancient ocean till now, there is a compact knowledge of healing, of dealing with all sorts of situations. There were volcanoes, there were thunderstorms, there were stones coming into the waters. It was a wild, wild time of the earth. And these cells, they lived through that all, and they had this code which you can rely on, that they know how to heal themselves, because we stem from those cells who did it. We didn't stem from those who failed in that. So I have one exercise with this really long, long, long row of ancestors that all knew how to self-heal. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here. And they knew how to heal in an environment which was much more challenging than we have now on a certain level.
Yes.
So it's all incorporated in the body. I think healing is not, you have to adjust so it serves the body, but the body knows how to heal. You don't need the mind for that. There are dogs that heal, there are cows that heal. They don't have our frontal, they don't have affirmations, but the body knows how to heal. And so it's just to tune into this body healing.
Oh, absolutely. You know, sort of, and nature gives us what we require.
Yes. Everything.
The nature supports us. You've only got to look and see. And I get it, Arnold. You know, we're here. Our Gift of Healing TV shares. Alexandra shares. So many people share. You know, if you go onto the Gift of Healing TV website, you know, there's a truth about pet cancer coming up. There's various other bits and pieces coming up, and there's always something people are sharing. Diabetes is coming up, and they're not sharing, go to the doctors and get a pill or an injection or whatever. They're sharing about the ways we can actually do it for ourselves with the food that we eat. You know, the herbs and the spices, the nuts. You know, there's been something just recently about the skinny on fat, and it is so true. We've been. I don't think it's been deliberately done. I'm not saying that.
It's unconsciously done.
But we've been misguided for many, many years, and
thousands of years.
Modern medicine has its place, but so does homeopathy, the healing with herbs. You know, the old witches in the woods, they knew what they were doing. They had an amazing gift of understanding the gifts of nature. And nature has so much for us, and those things empower our body.
Yes, yes. And I'm really glad that you're contributing to this. I think it's about putting very much information in the internet and context and so forth, so people have choices and can go through information. But I experience the same thing. They believe a little self-healing, yes, but not really. If it's come to chronic diseases, most of the people don't believe it. And I really love to work in my groups, because there are sometimes people who have been a long time in the groups who healed, for example, this migraine just by a decision. And then there come new people who say, oh, I don't believe it. And then they see that it worked for them. And they start to ask, how will it work for me? But I think what he points out is, it's my experience that a little bit, but not really. So I think we have this network self-healing where we collect healing stories, so people get information. It could work like that, or for me it could work like that, because we don't really know how it works. I think it's individual, and we need more research for that. We have a self-healing congress in 3 years, which we will arrange, and there will be a lot of people who heal themselves from a lot of diseases, and we will have discussions about that. And our goal is that there will be more information combined on your homepage and my homepage, so it can get into the world and people awake in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. And sort of, and Arnold says, is it actually healnow.org? Because I put .com. Is it .org?
No, it's com was gone. It was somebody else bought it.
I apologize.
But it's right. Non-profit organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's non-profit.
Yeah, brilliant. So thank you for that nudge. I must remember.
So if anybody would like to help us with our English page, anybody is welcome to do it. We started it in German. It's our smallest baby. It's just half a year old. And but we've given it an English name because we want to go worldwide with this and collect healing stories to support people in the healing processes or groups. I rather like to work with groups, children's groups, retirement groups, whatever. So whoever would like to join us is very welcome. We love to network.
And that's just it, folks. This is what all of these programs are about. This is what I'm sharing. This is what Alexandra's sharing. It is about getting the information out there so that people can find what works for them.
Yes, exactly.
What's worked for me may not work for somebody else. Something else will work for them.
Yes.
And that's what I love about this. It isn't about one thing fits all. I know that makes it very difficult to, well, what is right for me then? But we
have to start to play again, right?
Absolutely.
It might be hard when you're very sick, but it's about the creative mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And Arnold's just said, how can people get your training, Alexandra?
First to the training, I said I call it the Shemi process. It's self-healing by embodimental imagination. And it's the first year is this 9-step process. And what it's special, it's a meta approach. I told you just about the steps, but you can fill these steps with yoga, you can fill them with acupuncture, you can fill them with Reiki, you can fill them with psychodrama. So it doesn't matter from where you come, it's on contributing to the self-healing process. And we will have a Facebook group where people can share their stories and inspire others. Maybe somebody says, oh, I did this in this decision step. I know a yoga exercise, which is very empowering to make a decision. So that might be an exercise which other people can use as well. Or maybe for thankfulness, I have this and that. So it's a meta approach, what I teach. And people from all sorts of health, business, wellness, coaching, healing can come into it. And I always say, enriching this treasure chest of mankind. I really like to collect exercises, images, and stories all over the world and from all sorts of professional niches. So I think humanness has a big treasure chest, but nobody has made a platform for that yet, where you find inspiration. It's EFT, psychodrama, psychoanalysis, behavior therapists. They stand sometimes in opposing each other, but I think you can combine it to this human vision of health and healing. So this is the program we offer. And we have a freebie. I think you can download it, right? You have the link?
Yeah.
And it's the 9 Steps into the Wealth of Health book will take another 2-3 weeks. It's edited, but it has to be put up on Amazon. That takes a while before they say it's okay. So we have a little freebie. It's called Radical Transformation in 9 Steps. It's about the transformation of a caterpillar to a butterfly. And it has 9 steps in this radical transformation. And there are little exercises imagination exercises or body exercises for each step. It's 20 pages. It's even easy to read for people who don't love to read. It's just small. So you're welcome to download it. And even if you don't read it, you're on our list and you will get information when the book is out and when the course starts. So this will be the funnel where we can get contact. Otherwise, you send us a mail under alexandra@avisionpublishing.com. And I really like to hear from people who heal themselves, who want to be in our group, or who want to participate on something what we do. I really love it.
Oh, thank you so much. I have put the link in the chat for those that are watching live, and I will put the link to that under the YouTube video once it's up there as well. So please watch for that, folks. It's brilliant, and we do have to realize that different things work for different people.
Yes.
And it's just finding what works for you, but going with the feeling. Does something feel right for you? And I suppose it's for all of us getting back in touch with ourselves.
Yes. For everything I do in these steps, you have to feel the resonance in your body. You have, if you want healing, your body has to go with it. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. So if you have a positive affirmation and the body says no, it wouldn't work. Healing is meaning being whole again. So you have to take a body with on this process, and you always have to check what resonates positive with the body, because the body heals when it's in inner peace or flow and nothing else.
Yeah.
I want to invite our listeners to something else. We just started a Facebook Live broadcast every Tuesday evening in English at 8 o'clock. And it's sometimes a story of self-healing, sometimes some theory. We are building up an ethics of self-healing. So it will be a 20-minute broadcast in the form of an interview. Right now, it's my partner and me, but there will be other people coming in there. In April, there will be a doctor coming in. There will be a person who healed herself in. There might be coming somebody in from your show, and we would like, Sarah, you to be in that. So how would that be?
Lovely.
So it's on our Facebook evisionpublishing.com site. And there are already, I think, 5 interviews so far on vision and 1 on self-healing.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, Arnold, for all your feedback. That's been great. We do.
Thank you for whoever is listening. Yes.
And I hope you can still hear Alexandra, because we've got very crackly towards the end there. So I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that you've still heard enough of it, because it's not been perfect at the end, but I've been hearing it. I've understood you. So
okay, I understood everything.
Good. But it's got very, very crackly. But just before we finish, because we are coming to an end now, is there anything finally? So I hope people go and find the Facebook page. Please send me that link, and I will make sure that goes under the YouTube.
And you come to our broadcast, right?
Yeah.
We will manage that out.
Yeah. We will sort that. We will sort that. Is there anything finally you'd like to say before we close the program?
I have written it down on a little piece of paper. Our slogan is thanks. Can you see that?
Yep.
And it means transform, heal, act, network, change the world, and start now. Sarah.
Oh, absolutely. It's brilliant.
That's a slogan on our website as well. So start now.
Absolutely. It's up to each of us.
Yes.
Up to each of us. So thank you so very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. to have you,
Sarah.
have you with us today. And I will send you the link so that you can share it as well. We'll be sharing it on the website. Folks, please do check out Alexandra's links. Do check out the Facebook. Do check out the websites. Do check out help yourself to the freebie. It's really important that you do that if you wish to help yourself, because at the end of the day, it is down to each one of us to want to help ourselves. That's where we bring the greatest power into the self-healing. That's my personal feeling.
Yes, it brings us into self-esteem and pride and dignity.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And before it gets even worse and we can really not hear Alexandra, maybe we ought to tie up. But I'm really sorry that we've got this, whatever this vibration is happening with her voice, which I really apologize about. But Arnold said he'd been able to understand. So that's great.
I understood everything.
I'm glad you can hear it. And I hope the recording doesn't have it, but I can't guarantee that. Folks, thank you for joining us. I hope you'll join us next week. We're going to have another Thoughtful Nuggets and Pearls next week. But it's been an absolute pleasure. Alexandra, thank you so very much for joining us again. Namaste.
Thank you very much.